This is section 3.5, and we're going to talk about the 5-number summary and box plots. So, the 5-number summary of a data set consists of the following 5 numbers, and we always write them in this order. The minimum data value, then Q1, then Q2, which remember is the same thing as the median, then Q3, and then the maximum data value. So we can use one var stats on the calculator, or we can use StatCrunch. And the videos on StatCrunch, where you can find the variance and the mean and the median and the mode and all of those, it's the same, that same menu has all your 5-number summary in it also if you tell it to calculate that. So, for example, let's find the 5-number summary of the following data sample. And that should not have an S on it. Whoops, sorry. So we're going to go to our calculator, and we need to put data in the list. So stat, and then enter, because we're already where we want to be. And I need to clear that list out, so highlight L1 and then clear enter. And now let's put the new data in. 19.95, 23.25, 23.32, 25.55, 25.83, 26.28, and 42. Whoops. Okay, I just entered that last number wrong. So if I need to fix it, I can just use my arrow key to go back up to where it is and just type the correct number. So 42.47. Okay, now that we have our list in there, we quit by doing second mode. And then remember, we want stat, and we want to arrow right to the calc menu, and we want the one var stats. So I put everything in list 1 again. Frequency list should be blank, and I'm going to go to calculate. So if we scroll all the way down, the last 5 numbers here, starting with min x and going all the way to max x, that's our 5-number summary. So in this case, we have 19.95, 23.25, 25.55, 26.28, and 42.47. And remember, that's the minimum data value, the first quartile, the median, which is also the second quartile, the third quartile, and the maximum data value. So once we have the 5-number summary and the fences, we can draw what we call a box plot. So draw a box plot for the data given in example A2. So here's how the box plot works. First, we need to draw an axis, and I'm going to label this in tick marks of 2. So 18, 20, and I have to go up to 44. So maybe I better put those a little bit closer together. So let's see. 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44. 22, 24. And I didn't draw that well either. So I'm going to pause and try to get this straight, and then we'll start the video with a proper scale. Okay, I finally got my graph drawn better. So we start by putting our Q1, Q2, and Q3 on the graph. So 23.25 is a little over halfway between 23 and 24. The median is at 25.5, so it's about right here. And Q3 is at 26.28, so about right here. Then we connect those three lines with an edge to make a box, because this is a box plot. So we always have Q1, the median, and Q3 is how we make our box. Then we put our largest data value at 19.95, so that's almost at 20, and we just put a little dot right there. Our maximum data value is 42.47. So 42.47 is about right here. Now we need to figure out our fences. So our fences, well, to do that, first we have to get the IQR, right? So I should do that first. So IQR, remember that's Q3 minus Q1, and we have those values. So 26.28 minus 23.25, and that gives us, if we type it in to the calculator, 3.03. So to find our lower fence, remember the formula is Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. So we have 23.25 minus 1.5 times 3.03. And if we put that in the calculator, we have 23.25 minus 1.5 times 3.03. So we get 18.71. We will just round to 2 decimal places. Now we need to do the upper fence. So for the upper fence, it's the third quartile plus 1.5 times the IQR. So that is 26.28 plus 1.5 times 3.03. And if we type that in, 26.28 plus 1.5 times 3.03, we get 30.83. So that is 30.83. So let's go put the fences on our graph. So our lower fence is at 18.71. So that's, I don't know, about right here. And the upper fence is at 30.83, so about right here. So our largest data value is also an outlier because it is further right on our graph than the upper fence. Our smallest data value we connect with a whisker because it is inside the lower fence. We also need to put a data value that is the largest data value that is smaller than the upper fence. So 26.28 is our largest data value that is smaller than the upper fence, and it just happens to be Q3. So this right there is the largest data value that is less than the upper fence. If our smallest data value had happened to be out here, then we would have had to use the smallest data value that was bigger than the lower fence to put a point. Now this one's a little bit weird. Normally we would have two whiskers. Sometimes they call these box and whisker plots. And the whiskers are these little line, this little line out to this point here. And most of the time, this second point is on its own whisker. But this data set's a little bit odd. So let's do another example, but we'll do it in the next video.